Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Gaza is burning. Those are the words of Israel's defense ministers as the IDF begins the ground invasion of Gaza City.
As tanks move into the heart of the city, some fear the terror group will use the remaining hostages as human shields. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
A military official confirmed the IDF is moving toward the center of Gaza City. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz released this statement Monday night. The IDF is striking with an iron fist at the terror infrastructure, and IDF soldiers are fighting bravely to create the conditions for the release of the hostages and the defeat of Hamas. There are concerns that the terror group will put the remaining hostages in harm's way to stop the Israeli advance.
Now, there was an article that I read in a newspaper just about an hour ago where Hamas said they're going to use the 20 hostages as human shields. They're going to bring them up from the dark tunnels, and they're going to put them in the line of fire so that if Israel goes forward, they're going to die. And I thought that was very terrible, and I put out a statement on that. You saw that.
The statement on Truth Social warned Hamas, "This is human atrocity, the likes of which few people have ever seen before. Don't let this happen, or all bets are off. Release all hostages now." Speaking to a group of visiting U.S. lawmakers on Monday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel is also facing an organized campaign to delegitimize the Jewish state.
That is orchestrated by the same forces that supported Iran. Iran's effort to put a military siege on us and ultimately choke us. We were able to break loose from that siege, and we will have to do several things to break loose from this siege that is organized by a few states. One is China, and the other is Qatar. And they are organizing an attack on Israel legitimacy in the social media of the Western world and the United States.
On CBN's Faith Nation, Jonathan Conrica said the support of the U.S. is vital as it begins its ground offensive.
And the visit of Secretary Rubio, I think, comes at a crucial time, and it's exactly the words and the deeds that Israel needs in order to be steadfast, in order to have the stamina and the capacity really to fight this out and defeat Hamas.
In Geneva, a UN commission accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. An Israeli official called the report scandalous, fake, and written by proxies for Hamas. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, I'm glad our president has the right perspective on this. This is entirely the fault of Hamas. And when Hamas said that they would never come to peace with Israel if it meant that they had to lay down their weapons, that for me was the sign that there won't be any peace here. You can't possibly come to a peace agreement with another side that says, we want to hold on to our weapons so that we can regroup and attack you again. That just absolutely makes no sense. My heart goes out to everyone in the path of this war. It's absolutely horrific, but the reason we're in this war, the reason Israel's in this war, is because of what Hamas did on October 7th and the hostages that it still holds. In other news, President Trump is sending the National Guard and federal officers into Memphis, Tennessee. Charlene Aaron has that story and more from the CBN newsroom. Charlene?
Gordon, the president announcing a task force like the one that's been in Washington, D.C. since August. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee welcomed the move. The city's Democratic leaders don't believe it's needed. According to FBI statistics, Memphis leads the nation in violent crime. The president also announced another strike on a boat from Venezuela, alleged to be smuggling drugs. 3 people died in the attack. The president issued this warning: if you are transporting drugs that can kill Americans, we are hunting you. Well, authorities in Utah are expected to unveil charges against the suspect in Charlie Kirk's murder today. The suspect's DNA reportedly found on a towel wrapped around the murder weapon and on a screwdriver found on the rooftop where the shots were fired. Tyler Robinson reportedly confessed and apologized in an online chat before surrendering to police. Last night, lawmakers gathered for a vigil at the U.S. Capitol to remember Charlie Kirk and to pray for the nation.
Father, we lift up all those who are affected by this, a nation that is in mourning, a nation that has been shaken. We ask you to comfort those who are mourning and fearful, that you encourage us to stand for that goodness and that virtue, that you remind all Americans that we are all our fellow countrymen.
Prayer gatherings are taking place across the country, and prayer is certainly what is needed, Gordon, right now.
Please be in prayer for our nation. It just seems we're divided so fundamentally. I don't understand those who want to celebrate his death. It makes no sense to me. But at the same time, we as Christians need to uphold the standards that America was built on. And one of those standards is freedom of speech, even speech you absolutely strongly disagree with. We shouldn't get into cancel culture on this, and I'm hearing from places I never thought I'd hear the term hate speech. We need to understand all speech is protected. That's one of the fundamental principles behind our wonderful society, the wonderful liberty we have in America. Let's make sure, as we remember Charlie Kirk, we remember that he was outspoken, and regardless of the violence that was perpetrated, we need to realize this is something that we need to stand for. Every one of us has this wonderful right of free speech. That's what needs to be defended at this moment.